why can't we tell the truth?
Bad day, dear?
Yeah, it was I helped Lana's mother get settled at the motel, and I stayed for a while and chatted.
Oh. Oh, that was very nice of you, honey.
Very alone now, Dad. Her husband died several years ago, and well, she hasn't seen Lana for quite a few months. Of course, Lana wrote to her every day. She was very aware of her involvement with Brad. She started asking me all sorts of questions about it.
What kind of questions?
Well, for example, she can't really understand why Brad hasn't gotten in touch with her, considering how much Lana was in love with him. Now, how do I answer a question like that?
How did you answer?
Poorly. I just mumbled about whatever was going through my mind. I really came unglued when she started talking about how much my friendship meant to her. You know what Lana did? She went out and bought a copy of my novel and sent it to her mother to show her what a nice friend she was.
What'd you say? Hold your horses. Listen, will you get the hell out of here and let me digest this report?
Look, why can't I read it while you read it?
Because until I say otherwise, this is privileged information.
Oh, come on, Ed, huh?
No, you come on. I'll call you in 15 minutes. Come on, scram. Honey, this has been a terrible ordeal for you.
Oh, Dad, it has been for everybody. Mostly Lana's mother. I can't imagine what Jenny's going through.
You mean having to postpone her wedding?
Well, how could she possibly marry Brad when his part in this is still so unresolved?
Now, wait a minute. We don't know for sure that Brad did have a part in it, now do we?
Nobody will ever convince me that he didn't.
Kathy, until we hear otherwise, we have to assume that Lana died of natural causes.
Dad, there was nothing natural about any of the circumstances.
Honey, until the coroner has completed his report, I don't think it's fair for anyone to pass judgment. What worries me most about this is what it's doing to you.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. I'm strong enough to do what has to be done, which is to make sure that the truth about Lana's death, whatever that truth is completely uncovered.
What truth do you want me to tell, Sam? That I was in Lana's apartment when she died?
Well, you're never going to find that out sooner or later anyway, Brad.
Wait, sit down for a minute.
What?
Come on. Now look, Sam. You and I have been through some pretty rough times, and you can't walk out on me now.
Who's walking out?
Well, I thought I just picked up a clue that you weren't going to tell one lie for me.
Well, it's not one lie.
Yes, it is. You and I were together the night that Lana died, from 10:30 till 11:40 at night.
Oh, sure. Then you allegedly went over to Jenny's, and then you came back here, and then we allegedly went out to get something to eat. Don't you see how flaky that sounds?
No, not flaky at all.
Well, don't you think they're going to ask you some questions about why you came back here, what kind of big, important discussion we were having?
I think I realize why you're so panicky. Because I laid all that emphasis on how incriminating it would be if they found Mom's ring in Lana's apartment.
Well, they probably have already found it.
So what? No, I mean that. I'm serious. So what? I mean, there's no identifying tag on it. There's no label saying property of Naomi Vernon. The cops will just assume it's Lana's.
Well, nobody ever saw Lana wear it.
And nobody ever saw Mom wear it in Lana's view either. I mean, she hadn't worn it for years.
But Dad will recognize it. He gave it to her. I mean, and I also think that he knows how much trouble you went to get that ring from the lawyer. And it was the day that Lana died.
And what is Dad going to be doing going through Lana's property? Macy? We've just imagined a whole show that isn't even going to occur.
What about Jenny?
What about her?
Well, didn't she get the ring for her? Won't she expect it? Won't she ask something about it?
Oh, we're covered there, too. Because I never told Jenny that the ring was going to be a surprise. okay?
Okay.
See, Pumpkin, all we have to do is stay cool and stick to our story.
So would they ever have news? They found out you were in that apartment the day Lana died.
There's no way in hell I could ever explain that.
Well, I think you should tell Jenny.
Why?
Because you're going to be married to her. How can you keep a secret like that from your wife? I mean, it's a very important thing. Don't you think Jenny deserves to know?
No, I can't. Listen, Sam, when we're married, I will never, ever keep anything from her. But not this time.
Hey, what's going on with you two?
Nothing, why?
Every time I see you lately, it looks like you whispering to plan some big conspiracy or something.
Okay, Abbott. So, what's the scoop? For the moment, there's not going to be a scoop for you or anybody else. Come on, Ed. You know what's in that coroner's report? That's right, I do. And for the time being, I'm going to sit on it. Sorry, that's the way it is. What you're saying is there's more to this case than meets the eye. I am not saying anything. But you don't have to. The fact that you're not saying anything tells me a lot. Lana's death wasn't a suicide and it wasn't an accident. How did you come to that conclusion? Simple. You're a laboratory guy and didn't find any fingerprints in that apartment. The phone was off the hook, but it had been wiped clean. There were no prints on the pill bottle, and the prints had been wiped off the doorknobs. Now, how the hell did you get all that? All of which means there was someone there with Lana that night, the night she died. Richard, I want to know where you got that information. The reporter doesn't reveal his sources. Well, I'll find out where you got it. Those guys in the lab leaked something to you, boy. Look, what's the difference how I got it? The point is I did get it. I was just waiting for the coroner's report to verify what I already knew. Yeah, well... Look, Ed, I've got my job to do, just like you've got your job to do. There are times when a free press does not appeal to me. It just happens to be one of those times, you know? I'm right. There was somebody there that night. I'm not going to say anything without a clear understanding. This is all off the record. You got that? Okay, I'll take it off the record. Let me have it. Lana McCrane died from mixed drug intoxication, a combination of alcohol and pills. It wasn't an accident and it wasn't suicide. Well, the coroner doesn't think so. Was she pregnant? I'm not saying anymore. It's just a matter of time before I find out. Or some other reporter does. Look, now we know that somebody was there the night she died. Maybe they were there because she was pregnant. Hey, listen, the police would prefer if that person who was there not know all those facts, all right? Now, I am standing, which is a polite way of saying this question and answer period is over. Right? Well, would you sit still for one more question? So, do you have any idea who that person might be? Richard, if I did have an idea who that person was, the last person I would tell would be you, if I wanted to keep it secret. Goodbye. Yeah. Thanks.
I'm going to be eating out.
Oh?
Yeah, I called Lana's mother to see how she was doing. I think those four walls are beginning to get to her, so I told her I'd come down and have some dinner with her at the motel restaurant.
Oh, huh? Well, honey, don't you think it might be a little less depressing for you if you asked her to come here and have dinner with us? I'm sure Anna wouldn't mind.
Dad, maybe, but I just don't think she's up to a company situation. I'll be all right. Well, unless you two want to be alone, I could use for company.
No, of course not. Come on in, Jenny. Of course.
Jenny, I haven't had a chance to say to you how sorry I am about everything. Thank you. Thank you, I guess that's sort of a dumb thing to say, isn't it? I really don't know how to respond to people anymore. I understand. You hear all the talk that's going on at the clinic. And people who don't know say, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be on your honeymoon. rumors, too. Jenny, I was the one who told the police that Lana was pregnant with Brad's child. I know. I certainly would never have said that if Lana hadn't told me directly. Well, I believe you. But that doesn't mean that Lana was telling the truth. You're saying that Brad denies it. Yes. Excuse me, I was just on my way out. I won't be late.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello, I'd like to speak to Marco Dane, please.
Speaking.
Marco, Ed Hall here. I'd like to have a little talk with you.
Oh, yeah? What about?
Lana McLean's death. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop by my office about 8 o'clock tonight. That convenient for you?
Yeah, sure. I don't know that I can tell you.
Well, I'll see you at 8 o'clock, all right? Thank you.
Marco, can you talk?
I can, but I don't want to.
Well, listen then, because it's obvious as hell the next step in this farce is that there's going to be an inquest.
Well, that's your problem.
Come on, Karen, I haven't got time to play games. I just called you up to make sure you understand you're backing up my alibi.
Marco, I can't do that because there's no way that I can pull that one on Larry without getting into big trouble.
I told you that that was the way it was going to be.
Well, what kind of shape am I going to be in if I drop it on Larry that I spent the evening with you?
Why is it that I have to keep on reminding you that if they uncover my prison record, they're going to find out that it was one Karen Wolek's testimony that sent me up? Now, where would that leave you?
Marco, do you know how this is lousing up my life?
Look, Karen, I'm sorry. It's just that we got to keep the police from checking up on me. You've got to be the one to back up my alibi.
I just spoke to Ed Hall and summoned me over to his office at 8 o'clock. So, it's just you better be ready, okay?
Well, Marco, look, you can't talk to Ed Hall until we get our story straight. Now, what are we going to do?
Look, I'll meet you over at Jim's Diner on Cedar Street. If we leave right now, we can be there at 7 o'clock, all right?
Right. Bye.
Bye. Good evening, Mrs. Lord. Hi, Miss Lewis. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, I'm in kind of a rush. You don't mind too much if I leave right now, do you?
Well, I suppose that would be all right.
Good. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Certainly does have a breezy style, doesn't it? He certainly does. Would you care for some sherry before dinner? I'd love some, thank you. By the way, have you ever met Marco before? Oh, well, he drove me home from here a few weeks ago. And we stopped in at Tony's place and had a drink. Oh. He's acting very mysteriously, I might add. Thank you. When I asked him what kind of work he did for you here, he kind of smirked. And then he said that I ought to put that question to you and let him know what your answer was. I have a feeling there's been a lot of unhappiness in your life. So I certainly have. I have a sister. She's a younger sister. And I'm afraid she never knew how much I loved her. Is she dead? Not quite. She's in a mental institution. Or maybe. Talking nonsense. No, you're not. Oh, when I married Victor Lord, I thought he'd be the answer to all my dreams. And then he died. Yes, he died. We've been married less than a year. It's not very easy for me to make sense. I've been seeing a psychiatrist lately. His name is matter. Anyway, he's given me a lot of insight onto why I am such a loner. Yes? I'm boring you. I'm so sorry. No, you're not. Well, Will suggests that perhaps I threaten people. Why does he think that? He thinks that maybe I'm too ambitious, too bright, too determined to get my own way. Maybe that's why I had such an instant response to you. Are we two of a kind? I hope so. You're ambitious, bright, and very determined. Yes. Maybe we could be friends. I hope so. I already feel like we are. Well, my new friend, I think I have done something that you're going to approve of. What's that? I've invited Richard Abbott to join us for dinner tonight. Why? Well, everyone in this town seems to be so keen on him, and his charm eludes me. So I thought perhaps I'd better find out what I've obviously overlooked. Uncle, listen. I realized riding over here, this is not going to work.
What's not going to work?
I can't say that the alibi is that I spent the evening driving around with you. I can't say that I won't wash because Jenny called me at home. I remember at 11:15, so I can't cover for you.
Hey, look, take it easy, take it easy. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to say that you just popped into Tony's place to give something to Lana.
What did I give to Lana?
Do I know? Shh. Book, an earring, anything. Just popped in to give her something, couldn't find her. You ran into me, and she went home. I followed you home and dropped in on you.
Oh, and Larry's supposed to hear all
You
this.
and me, we just sat there, we talked.
Well, what did we talk about?
About Lana. Of course, I was concerned about her. I'd seen the condition she was in, and I was worried. And I know that you're her best friend. So I figured maybe you and I could work out some way to help her out. Huh? How's that grab you?
Don't ask.
Well, it's going to have to do. So we sat around, we talked for about an hour. We got that this is very important. I did not leave until about 10, 15 minutes before Larry got home.
Marco, I really hate all this.
Hate it, but live with it. Because this is the way it's going to be.
Oh, and the hell with my marriage, right? Listen, I want to ask you something. And you better give it to me straight. Where were you? Just exactly where were you when Lana died? And don't give me any song and dance.
Well, I left you in the parking lot, like I said. And I met your friend, Mr. Huddleston. Oh, yeah, we talked for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then I left, and I had a flat tire on the way to Lana, so I changed it. It took maybe about a half an hour. Then I went over to Lana's place, like I said. I knocked on her door and knocked, couldn't get an answer. I told you, I thought she must have passed out or something. Then I went back to my car. I took a couple of hits from the bottle of scotch that I brought for Lana and dozed off.
You expect me to believe that?
I don't give a damn what you believe, as long as you back up my alibi all the way. You got it?
Now, what the hell am I supposed to tell Larry?
You managed to think up some lie to tell Larry. You always have. Well, then put on an extra man. I want that place under constant surveillance. Look, if you have any problem, call me. I'll be here for a while. Right.
No, you will not be here for a while. Because our dinner reservation is at 8.
Hey, I'm sorry, honey. I'm going to have to cancel on you.
Oh,
I know. Hey, you look gorgeous.
what happened? Can you talk about it?
We got the report on Lana's death.
It's said in a very grim tone.
Well, we are no longer operating on the assumption it was suicide.
My God. On what basis?
I'm not sure. Can't give you all the details. But I will say there was someone in the apartment that night.
How do you know? Fingerprints?
No, it's from the lack of them, actually. was 2 months pregnant.
Where you off to, Sam?
Tony's place.
You got a date?
No?
Well, are you going by yourself?
Yes, and I know what you think, that a girl my age should not go out unescorted, but I'm not. I'm going to Tony's place. I mean, he owns the place, and we happen to be very close friends.
Well, Tony Lord is considerably older than you, isn't he?
Age has nothing to do with this, Sadie. I just mentioned him so you know that I'm not going over there to try to pick up somebody, okay? I just want to talk to Tony, okay?
All right. I know I can't stop you from doing anything you want to do, Sam. But I wanted to go on record that I don't like it.
Hi.
Hi.
What kind of date?
Yeah, with a free clinic and hospital on beat.
Well, we didn't wait dinner because Sadie said you were in the hospital.
Yeah, I did. Has there been any word on the coroner's report?
No word. I know.
Maybe I'll call Ed and find out what's holding it up.
What is the big rush? I mean, it's not really our concern, is it?
What are you so upset about?
I'm not. I don't care. I really don't care one way or the other.
Well, then why the objection to calling Ed?
I just don't see the point.
Sam, why have you been so on edge lately?
Yeah, I haven't. I think, you are really imagining things these days.
Am I?
Yes, you are. There's nothing wrong.
Well, if something were wrong, would you be honest enough with me to tell me about it?
Of course. Sure I would. I mean, of course I'm a little bit upset because of suicide and everything, but I mean, everyone in town knew that she was crazy about Brad, but... And now Brad and Jenny had to postpone it. You know that they would be on their honeymoon if it weren't for her. I mean, well, the worst part is the gossip. I mean, all the rumors. I'm just worried that it could be harmful to Brad and Jenny.